now, that as far as the Dajjal is concerned, this is what we call the Antichrist. Dajjal, he is the liar. He is Messiah Dajjal, which is the false Christ. Messiah is like Messiah or Christ. And Messiah Dajjal, he is clearly mentioned in Hadith. So, sister, what you want to do is go to search for Islam, type in either Antichrist or Dajjal with 2 J's, and then it'll bring you all of this. But for sure, he will look like a human. He will talk like a human. He has human features. The unusual characteristics about him are basically his eyes. He has one eye that's a bulb. It's like a grape. Another eye, he's blind in it totally. He sees out of one eye, and he doesn't see out of the other eye. And that's very clear. But he will do miracles and make people think he's Jesus come back again. That's why he's called Messiah Dajjal. So it's not the television. Some people said it's the one-eyed God. But I heard that from the Christians in the 1950s. Can you believe it or not? They were saying that's the Dajjal right there, or the Antichrist, because it brings so much trash and garbage in our house. Not like now when it's only nice stuff that we have on TV. Anyway, other signs that you can find out about this, there will be great trials and tribulations that will be taking place, and it is not yet. That has not come. Somebody said that Jesus is back on earth walking around hiding so that the people won't kill him. That's also not true. It's clear in Hadith that he will come with angels, 2 angels, and he will come down from heaven, and he will land in a place in Damascus, Syria. That's where he will be, and it will be time for the Salah. So these things have not happened. I don't care what other things they try to relate to it, political scenes, economic problems, technology, and all the rest of it. It's not true. It's as simple as that. Your common sense. If you read the Hadith, this is not right.
Continue with the question about the Imam Mahdi.
The Imam Mahdi. A lot of people ask about that. Well, again, this is from Hadith. This is not mentioned in Quran, so you have to know Hadith. You go to the Hadith and find out. You can go to our website, search for Islam.com, type in Mahdi, spell it M-A-H-D-I, Mahdi, and then you'll find out about it. No, what we know is the Prophet ﷺ told us that the Mahdi will come. He will come before Isa alayhi comes. The fact that he has not come yet is clear proof that Jesus is not on earth walking around, even though some big famous person said it. I'm not going to say his name because, we love him for the sake of Allah. We hope Allah guide him. But in any case, coming back to the subject of the Mahdi, he is going to be Imam Mahdi. That's true. And he's not going to have magical powers, anything like that. He does not know he's the Mahdi until he is the Mahdi. You got that? He's not going to be walking around as a kid saying, I'm the Mahdi. That also, you saw it on YouTube maybe, with some people of a different sect of Islam. I'm not going to say what, but they came up with this idea. It's not true. Because the Hadith is very clear that when he comes, his name is going to be a clue for you. His name is going to be Muhammad ibn Abdullah. He said his name will be my name and his father's name will be my father's name. That is Muhammad ibn Abdullah. And for sure, that is one clue. But then the other thing is, he has to be from the progeny of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and there is no progeny coming from the Prophet ﷺ except by Fatima and Ali. So he has to be coming from Fatima and Ali. So this would be obvious, okay? And he would be Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Along the way, you can see if you study some of the various sects of Islam, you can see why some people believe we're this and we're that and this and that, and that's where the mistakes start coming in. But for sure, it will all, if you live long enough, you'll see that happen. We don't know when it's going to be, and you're not supposed to know when it's going to be. But it will come soon enough. There was somebody asked the Prophet ﷺ about these last days. When will they come? He said, what do you have prepared for it? And that's much more important for us to be ready for that with our good deeds and correct belief. I want to go back to that, by the way. That correct belief is critical to have the right belief, the aqidah of the Salaf as-Salih. If without that aqidah, they will never make it. I don't care. And they can call themselves Salafi. They can call themselves whatever they want to call themselves, but without that correct belief and practice, it won't happen.
Continue on with some questions for Sheikh Yusuf Estes. And from our studio audience, the brother was asking, what's the best way when you're giving the invitation to leave a good lasting impression?
One of the best things I can think of, and you referred to it earlier in the subject of the biryani, is you can take them to eat or offer to take them to eat or do something nice for them right here in this world, because most of the people who are not Muslim are very attached to the gifts and things you give in this world. Whereas I'm much more impressed, for instance, if somebody makes dua for me and my family, I really like it, thank you so much for that. But other people would be like, okay, thanks for the prayers, getting money. So sometimes if you give them a little pamphlet, a brochure, a little booklet, maybe I've even given people money, you know, just tell them, you know, because they need help. A lot of times people need financial help. Hey, you give somebody a $10 bill and tell them a little bit about Islam, and he'll say, well, thank you so much, whatever, and so, well, you know, you get a chance to help somebody else down the road. Because even if you say, well, they're a beggar, I'm not going to help them, no, just don't worry about it. You'll get a reward from Allah. Do your best. Giving gifts that is definitely a good thing to do.
We had one of our guests, Dr. Sabih, on the show, and he mentioned a life story about a doctor giving gifts during Christmas. And is this something where it would be acceptable? The doctor, it's a true story, was giving gifts of wine to his friends. We're not talking about gifts like this, are we?
He gave away wine?
Wine, yes.
At Christmas?
Christmas.
I can't speak on the behalf of a Muslim that might do that, but I could tell you that there are better things to give people than a headache. I can't wrap my head around that idea. But definitely to be kind and generous with the people, but not just at Christmas. In fact, I would prefer it to be known that when I give something to somebody that I'm not trying to tie it into their religion. But I don't want to stop giving things. I don't want to have, we're not really on the subject, but some people ask me about like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, things like this. I say, look, if you can be nice to somebody on one day more so than the other days, you need to work on yourself to be that level of good every day with your mom, your dad, your friends, or whatever. It's not about giving a gift on a birthday, because every day that I can do something good for people, I want to do that. So I don't want to say it like just giving something at a certain time and forget about the wine.
Halal gifts.
Yeah, even then, I want to be sure that it's not just a one-shot deal. It should be that whatever I'm doing, I should be continuing it. I think our Prophet ﷺ said what means that Allah loves what's done continually, even if it's something small, better than something big, but it's only done once.
Okay, so that's it. And thank you for attending this filming.